Okay.
There we go. All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am here with a very good friend of mine, Shawn. Welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you. So tonight we're going to do a little free-formy stuff. There's some stuff going on that Shawn hadn't actually heard about. And I think this would be a good opportunity for you guys, in case you're not aware of it either. It's called 3I Atlas. Apparently, it's an interstellar object. And if you look, I'm going to throw us a... No, that didn't work.
Yeah, I never heard
There
of
we
this.
go. So if you look up 3I/Atlas, it says one day ago, interstellar object 3I Atlas is about to get very active. Space photo of the week. So what is this 3I Atlas crap? Apparently it's an interstellar comet and it's barreling towards us. Well, at least the area. Barreling towards its closest point to the sun as perihelion looms on October 29th. How different will it look when it reappears on the other side? Interstellar comet 3I Atlas caught streaking through the solar system on August 27th by the Gemini South Telescope in Chile. Even as a brilliant naked eye comet slices through Earth's sky, cheers, Comet Lemon, the most famous object in the solar system right now is hidden on the far side of the sun, the interstellar comet 3I Atlas. This alien visitor, which most astronomers, not all, most astronomers believed to be a comet originating from an unknown star system far beyond our own, is only the third interstellar object ever detected in our solar system. It is the largest, fastest moving, and quite likely the oldest interstellar object ever seen. Though it was just confirmed by NASA in early July, the freewheeling ball of ice and dust is already nearing the halfway point on its tour of our solar system. This Wednesday, October 29th, 3I Atlas will reach perihelion, its closest point to the sun, before beginning its months-long departure from our cosmic neighborhood. So it didn't have a tail, then it had a tail when we were watching it. New photos reveal the tail growing before our eyes. Right here, see that? Want to sign up. Could be turning bright green.
That's
Closest view captured by Mars orbiter. That's it. And, this is an animated GIF of the interstellar comet made from several images captured by ESO's ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter on October 3rd. But all of that, so I'm going to tell you guys, there is a lot of speculation about what this object actually is. A lot of people are saying, especially if you go on the old TikTok or some of these other social media sites, you'll get people talking about, it's an alien mothership and it'll be here at this time. And there is so far absolutely no evidence that this thing is anything other than a big old comet. Now, that said, I ran across this article, which is very interesting. I have not read the whole thing, but the title drew my eye. It says, astronomer suspects mysterious object is up to no good while it's hidden behind the sun. Quote, if you want to take a vacation, take it before then. It is most energy efficient for a spacecraft engine to burn its fuel when its orbital velocity is greatest. Interstellar object 3I Atlas is expected to reach its perihelion October 29th. As we said earlier this week, it reached its solar conjunction, meaning it's on the exact opposite side of the sun relative to Earth. And while scientists have gathered significant evidence that the unusual visitor from another star system is a comet, largely made up of carbon dioxide ice, Harvard astronomer Avi Loeb hasn't given up his suspicion that it's instead an enormous mothership that was sent to us by an intelligent extraterrestrial civilization. Now, I don't know about that, but I will say I saw some crazy ass videos and some crazy ass posts with people saying that we've communicated with it, with people saying that that the AI translated this message as hang tight, bro.
Really?
Yeah, we're coming. I don't know. It seems like an awfully weird message, but
that would be a weird,
yeah. But Loeb has repeatedly pointed out all of the object's anomalies, from its enormous suspected size to its unusual trajectory that took it suspiciously close to Mars earlier this month. In a new blog post, Loeb suggested that if 3I Atlas were to be a spacecraft, it may use its proximity to the sun's powerful gravitational pull to either accelerate or slow itself down, while conveniently hiding behind our star. Quote, if you want to take a vacation, take it before October 29th, because who knows what will happen, Loeb told science communicator and author Bain Bielik in a September interview. Loeb pointed to one of the most important dynamics in space travel to support his theory that 3I Atlas, if it's indeed a spacecraft, may use its perihelion to boost its velocity. Quote, as a result of this so-called Oberth effect, it is most energy efficient for a spacecraft engine to burn its fuel when its orbital velocity is greatest, Loeb explained, referring to a physics principle which determines that a rocket engine generates more energy when it's fired at a higher speed. The astronomer reiterated his hypothesis that the object may release smaller probes to get a better understanding of our neighborhood. Quote, if 3I Atlas is a massive mothership, it will likely continue along its original gravitational path, and ultimately exit the solar system, he added. In that case, the Oberth maneuver might apply to the many probes it releases at perihelion toward solar system planets. According to Loeb, the optimal time to adjust its velocity is its perihelion next week. However, to him, the timing raises even more tantalizing questions. Quote, this opportune time happens to be during the same period when it is hidden from view to Earth-based telescopes, he posited. Was this a mere coincidence or a result of orbital design and basic astronautics?
But how would they know?
Right. That's the thing. So now, according to the data that is out there, and I've read about this thing quite a bit, according to what the scientists say, the majority of scientists, this thing goes way, way, way back time-wise. It's a very, very old comet. It has to be in order to reach our solar system from another solar system. That said, they looked and they cannot determine definitively where it came from. Wow. Because anything could have happened. Anything could have adjusted the gravitational force of it and adjusted its trajectory. However, all of the potentials are very far away. Very, very far away. I'm not going to get into the science, guys. Feel free to look up this 3I Atlas thing yourself. But the basic gist of it is they swear it's a comet. It already got as close to Earth as it's going to get, unless something changes. Now, if they suddenly start telling you that this thing's coming towards Earth, well, that might change things, right? But blah, 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 blah. While even Loeb recently admitted that there's only a slim chance that 3I Atlas was technological in origin, the astronomer isn't giving up hope. NASA said, it looks like a comet. It does comet things. It very, very strongly resembles in just about every way the comets that we know. Science is guided by evidence and not by expectations, he wrote in his latest blog. We can find the answer to the above question by monitoring the sky during November and December 25 and searching for any unusual activity of 3i Atlas or any new objects that came out of it. As of now, 3i Atlas appears most likely to be a natural comet, but the remote possibility of an Oberth maneuver must be considered seriously as a black swan event with a small probability because of its huge implications for humanity. Now, I don't think it's a mothership. I think there would be a little more evidence, but this goes with the other, I guess, things that are going on, because you got those people that they sold all their stuff because they thought the rapture was coming. Did you see that?
I did.
Look, I'm a Christian. I'm not convinced of the rapture, but I am convinced that Jesus will return. But no one knows the day or hour.
Nope. Not even the angels. Exactly. Not even the angels. So who is telling you when it's going to be, and what's their motive for that? Like, why are they telling you that? What do they get out of it? If they're telling you to sell all your stuff and give them the money, then there's your motive. Money is a powerful motivator for some people, man. Like most people, let's face it, you need money to live. But it's if somebody's telling you to give your stuff to them because you're not going to need it, then how do they need it? That's it. Yeah.
Are
True.
You not worthy then? Like, especially when it comes to like, oh, the rapture is going to happen and we're all going to go, so you might as well give me all your money. Aren't you going to be gone too, homie? Like, if you're not, then why am I listening to you?
Yeah.
Like, just use critical thinking, guys. I know they don't teach it very much anymore, but examine everything, Anyway.
Question everything.
Question everything. Absolutely. That is, I'd say the number one takeaway from watching this channel. Question everything, because the governmental line, right? What is it called? The company line, right? Where here's what's going on. No, dude, our government does not tell us the truth ever. Even when they're presented with incontrovertible evidence to the contrary, they still double down. JFK, Martin Luther King. Oh no, the government didn't have anything to do with it, despite the fact that there's evidence the FBI had something to do with it. And that's just an example. Or we could go, countless examples like that. But what's new in the world of politics that you want to talk about, man?
All right, you want to talk about the shutdown that's still continuing?
Yeah. So, okay. So let's talk about this SNAP program, right? I hear some of you people out there celebrating that people are going to lose the ability to buy food. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. What?
Like, I get it. None of us want our taxes to go to someone that is leeching off the system. But I'm here to tell you, those people represent a minority. The leeches, the people abusing the system represent a minority. There are people that legitimately cannot function. Seniors that barely squeak out enough to survive with their Social Security or their disability or their pension. And let's face it, guys, you don't own anything anymore. Taxes rack up no matter what. You own your house? No, you don't. You still got to pay the government. You still got to pay your taxes.
Sale taxes.
Yep, sales tax, income tax, real estate tax.
Our case, county.
Yeah, and then you got county taxes and wheel taxes and tax. I read a poem one time that was the tax poem, and it absolutely sums up our current situation. As a matter of fact, as we sit here recording this, The LaPorte County Council is currently voting on whether or not to raise your taxes if you live in LaPorte County. We just gave these vampires
Good word.
lit tax increase. We just gave them a 0.5% increase. Now they want a 0.2% increase. Why? Because they can't balance the budget. Now, I want to be clear here. Most of the people on the council were not there when the previous shit happened. Let's be clear about that. There were two, but Novak, he yeeted out just in time before he had to vote on this. Convenient.
Who's going to be the state rep now?
Yeah, who is now the state rep for District 9, Michigan City, Chesterton. Good luck, guys. That's all I got to say. No bid Novak has been a thorn in the side of transparency desiring citizens for a while. That's all I'm gonna say. By all means,
But
there's a reason they call him No Bid Novak.
back to the food stamp.
Back to the
yeah,
food
I don't
stamp.
understand the people who want their fellow citizens to starve.
To starve. Like, look, there are people who legitimately need it. There are people who absolutely they will starve without. And so I'm gonna drop a little pet peeve here for a second. There are Republicans that I know that believe that all the programs should be gutted, that Medicaid should be gutted, that Medicare should be gutted, that the food stamp program should be gutted, that all that should go away because churches can take that. The churches can do it. No, have you seen that church attendance is steadily going down? That's number one. Number two, the churches are not how they were when we were, like, even when I was a kid, and that wasn't that long ago in the grand scheme of things. It's already changed significantly. Are there churches out there that help their, local communities? Absolutely. And thank you for what you do. But if you think, like, guys, look how much the Catholic Church is worth. Like, seriously. The Vatican has billions of dollars in the vaults worth of stuff. There are once again, there are legitimate churches that help their local communities, but in general, churches are not the answer.
No, we shouldn't gut these programs. We do need to reform.
Absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree that there are, if you can work, you should go your ass to work. But one of the things that these people aren't realizing is, number one, a lot of these people are working. They have a job. Yeah. Minimum wage, don't pay the bills, homies. Not even a little bit, not anymore. A minimum wage job is enough that you qualify for a program. You're working at Walmart. I'm here to tell you, by the way, Walmart has a program with the federal government where they hire people, pay them enough to where they can qualify for food stamps, and just enough hours to where they qualify and stay qualified for the program, right? And then because they're hiring someone who's poor, someone who is on assistance, they get special tax breaks. It's a giant racket, guys, and you and I are not cashing in on it. Sorry. That's just how it is. You've heard that, right?
I've
about
heard
Walmart
stuff about that.
Yeah,
before,
a lot of the Amazon's the same way. They'll hire you, pay you just enough to where you can meet all the basic criteria for funding, right? And then now you can qualify for rental assistance. Now you can go, and these are great programs. I'm a fan when used as intended, which is to get yourself together, get yourself on your feet, learn a career, but they're making it a long-term solution when it was never designed that way. Now, all of that comes around to, what do we do? Well, how do we help our fellow citizens? Because there are people out there that depend on it. Well, I'm going to tell you what, here locally, our local food banks are stocking up. They're asking for donations. If you guys have a few extra bucks, it doesn't take much. contact your local food bank, ask them what you can help with, because there will be people who need it. Don't just assume because someone's on food stamps that they're not working, they're lazy, they're this, they're that. My mom was on food stamps when I was a kid. I was on food stamps when I had my daughter. Like, we were young, we were broke, we were working, but it wasn't enough. And we were making shit wages and no benefits. And sometimes you need that help up. I haven't been on the program for a very long time, but it helped me be the man I am today. I'm just kidding.
But the federal government, another problem we need to look at is the Federal Reserve making our money worth less.
Yes.
Too.
Yes. And I talked to someone a while back regarding Federal Reserve versus gold-backed or some sort of value-backed currency, right? And they were against a value-backed currency. Why? Because this is working. There wasn't a good reason, by the way, other than, well, this is working, and it would require too much this, and it would be too hard to implement that. That sounds like a lazy way out.
Yeah.
It would
be. He's right. It would be an extremely complicated
Oh,
process. Yeah. And I don't think to be able to do it overnight or even in years, it would take.
Now, here's a question for you guys. And I'm not saying this is the case, so make sure you don't put your tinfoil hats on this for this. This is just a question. But we've been shown, right? Those of us who are Christians, we believe very strongly in the book of Revelation and what was laid out to, I think it was John, right? That got.
I think so.
Either way, the book of Revelation.
I don't remember who it was.
And it talks about the mark of the beast, right? And the mark of the beast is supposed to be essentially a governmental system, a mark that prevents you from buying or selling or doing pretty much anything at all unless you, I can't think of the word, but unless you accept the mark, submit, unless you submit, right? Now, what if, let's just say they decide, okay, we have value-backed currency, and in order to get this value-backed currency, and we're changing the complete structure, dollars are going to be worthless, we're switching to this, and in order to have access to this, you have to accept the mark. What do you do? And I mean that really. What do you do? Are you in a position where you can say, nah, F that? If you're not, think about getting there. And there are very, very, very few of us that are in a position that we can go, no, I don't need money. I don't need to be able to buy and sell. I don't need to be able to feed my family by going to the supermarket. Like, just the thought of that is like, ooh,
yeah.
Right? It's scary. Because there's a lot of talk of a program, and this has been around for a while. I talked about it briefly in one of my little conspiracy theory investigations, but it's called NESARA/GESARA. Have you heard of this?
I have not.
Let me show you what this is about. All right, so let's learn together. So I said, what is NESARA/GESARA, right? NESARA, National Economic Security and Reformation Act, and GESARA, which is the global version of that, Global Economic Security and Reformation Act, are proposed legislative frameworks designed to overhaul the current financial and governmental systems. Now, here's one very, very interesting thing about this. The one reason that I actually started learning about this and paying attention is because the date that this thing was supposed to happen, by the way, was right when 9/11 happened.
Really?
Yeah. Let's get into this. Now, So people are saying that top answer from Reddit, which it's freaking Reddit. First of all, these people are idiots for the most part. I'm just going to say that. But they talk about Executive Order 13849 was signed in 2018, authorizes the implementation of sanctions outlined in Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act. It grants the Secretary of the Treasury the authority to take specific actions against individuals and entities, including blocking property, prohibiting financial transactions, restricting U.S. persons from investing, and limiting loans. The order also includes measures to suspend the entry of certain sanctioned individuals into the United States. Now, what is this? The Economic Security and Recovery Act of 2001 amends the Internal Revenue Code to allow an additional first-year 20% depreciation allowance for property, which have a recovery period of 20 years or less, is water utility. That's not the one I was thinking of. I'm sorry. Okay. So this is the Wikipedia, and we all know how trusted it is, but I like to get an overview from Wikipedia and then dig into what it is, right? So what it says here, it was proposed by private citizen Harvey Francis Bernard during the 1990s. Bernard claimed that the proposals, which included replacing the income tax with a national sales tax, abolishing compound interest on secured loans, and returning to a bimetallic currency, in other words, silver and gold backed, would result in 0% inflation and a more stable economy. The proposals were never introduced in Congress. Since the early 2000s, NESARA has become better known as the subject of a cult-like conspiracy theory whose original promoter was internet personality Shaini Candace Goodwin, better known as the Dove of Oneness.
Never heard of her.
Me either. Goodwin, who appropriated NESARA without Bernard's consent, claimed the act was actually passed with additional provisions as the National Economic Security and Reformation Act, and then suppressed by the Bush administration and the Supreme Court. That sounds remarkably like what I heard, which is, oh, this happened in 9/11.
Weird.
Right? So, okay. It says here, Goodwin's conspiracy emails were translated into several languages and had a large following online. Adherents of the theory have also used the term GISARA, which is global, in order to extend the proposed NESARA reforms outside the U.S. into the rest of the world. Now, the monetary reform proposal is actually quite interesting. He's an engineering consultant and a teacher with a PhD in systems theory. He created the NESARA proposal during the late 80s and early 90s. Bernard printed 1,000 copies of his proposal titled Draining the Swamp, Monetary and Fiscal Policy Reform, 1996, and sent copies to members of Congress, believing, like a fool, it would pass quickly on its merits. Based on a theory that debt is the number one economic factor inhibiting the growth of the economy, and compound interest the number one moral evil and reason for debt, Bernard made several other attempts during the 90s to draw political attention to the problems he saw in the U.S. economy and his suggested economic recovery proposal based on the root causes he determined. After his efforts to gain political support did not succeed, he decided in 2000 to release his proposal to the public domain and publish it on the internet. Bernard established the NESARA Institute in 2001 and published the second edition of his book in 2005, retitling it Draining the Swamp, the NESARA Story, Money and Fiscal Policy Reform. Now, this gets into the conspiracy theory that Dove of Oneness said was later identified as this person, Shaini Candace Goodwin, a former student of Ramtha's School of Enlightenment. Oh my.
Okay.
Oh my. This says an American New Age spiritual sect near the city of Yelm, Washington, U.S. The school was established in 1988 by J.Z. Knight, who claims to channel a 35,000-year-old being called Rampa the Enlightened One, etc.,
Alrighty then.
etc. Now, Goodwin, aka Dove of Oneness, claimed that the Nassara bill languished in Congress before finally being passed by a secret session in March 2000 and signed by President Bill Clinton. Her theory held that the new law was to be implemented at 10 a.m. on September 11, 2001, but that the computers and data of the beneficiaries of the trillions of dollars of prosperity funds were destroyed on the second floor of one of the World Trade Center towers in New York City during the terrorist attacks. Supposedly, an earlier gag order issued by the Supreme Court had prohibited any official or private source from discussing it under penalty of death. Goodwin referred to white knights, most of them high-ranking military officials, who have since been struggling to have the law implemented despite opposition by President Bush. Goodwin purported that Bush orchestrated the September 11th attacks and the Iraq War as distractions from Nassara. It goes even deeper and gets really, really wild. But
that's wild.
Yeah, there is a ton, and that's just, it goes on and on, as you guys can see. By all means, if you want to look into it. So that's how I initially heard about it. I'm like, no. But then I heard that it actually happened and was going to be implemented, and then the attacks on the towers happened. And I'm like, whoa, okay, that lends it, if that's true, that certainly lends it an air of credibility. Well, I can find zero evidence that was the case. If you have evidence that did transpire, then by all means send it to me. I'll run with it. But I have heard some wild ass shit. Some wild stuff. But that's pretty up there.
That is.
That's pretty up there. Now, this whole prosperity fund, allegedly, right? This ties into, have you heard the one that our social security numbers, right? And our birth certificates when we're first born, they set up an account under your name, right?
I've heard that one.
So that's what these prosperity funds are. It's all these trillions and trillions of dollars that have been harvested via these accounts. Now, I know if I can find my account, I'm withdrawing. Thank you very much. But again, I'm not finding any I'm finding snippets, right? I'm finding, oh yeah, this is true. Here, go here. Oh, this link doesn't work. Kind of shit, right? I have no actual evidence that any of this is true. And I try to research what I can, right? I do, but I got a life, man. I got kids. I got a wife. She gets really mad at me if I get too deep into the internet fucking rabbit hole stuff. So I got to be careful. That said, I'm going to try to find out more info about both of these because it's entertaining, if nothing else. And it's stuff like this that distracts us from important things, like people may not be able to eat next month. And our county council is talking about, oh, we need more money. No. Not just no, but hell no. Why do we have to tighten our belts, but the government gets to get more money anytime they,
Is there a Republican majority?
Technically, yes.
In name only?
Some of them are in name only. We'll see. Now, like I said, the majority of the council, the people that were there are Mark Yagelski, Democrat, and was Randy Novak, Democrat. Now, I don't know how true this is, but I heard that they have tapped Joey Winsky's daughter to replace Randy Novak on the council. I fucking hope not, but that's just me. I don't know Joey Winsky's daughter at all. I don't even think I've ever met her. But if her mom is anything to go by, I think it's a horrible idea.
How many people are on the council?
7.
Okay.
I believe.
So it's 2 Democrats, 5 Republicans?
I No, there's like 3 Democrats.
Okay.
Let's see. Laporte.
And then when you're a commissioner, you're basically the president, right? You just
No.
basically implement it.
You're like the president. Yeah, you're the executive branch. Commissioners are the executive branch. Yeah, I was like president of the. No, that was my bad.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yes. Let me. I'll show you guys real briefly. The current county council is Adam Karanka.
I've heard that name.
So I'm going to tell you, Adam. He's a really good dude. He's a super smart dude. He's an engineer.
Doesn't he have a lot of business? He has a business too, doesn't he? Or am I thinking it's somebody else?
Sure. But Karanka is super smart, but I think he's still finding his political footing because he seems sometimes to be a little timid. He's worried about, upsetting people. And I understand. But sometimes you just gotta step forward. Even if you're stepping in the wrong direction, you still gotta step.
You gotta be bold, like
sometimes.
Yeah, you gotta be bold.
Yeah. We have Karanka as president. We have Brett Kessler vice president. He's a farmer, and other than potential buddy with Connie, and for that reason, I can't trust him. But he seems to be. This guy here, I'm gonna miss Justin Keel. Freaking amazing guy, super fucking smart.
Is that the guy that had the newspaper?
Yeah.
Okay.
He owns like 2 newspapers.
That's what I was thinking.
He's going to college. He's flying back and forth. He's not appearing via Zoom. He's not missing any meetings. He is attending college, coming back, meeting, work, boom, back. Like
Where's he
he's
going to
killing
college?
it. I forget exactly where, but he's been. Yeah,
I noticed his picture.
Yeah, he's obviously, and then Yagelski, and then Jim Pressel III, and Molinauer. I noticed this picture is about 30 to 40 years in the past because he is very old. Go ahead.
Is Pretzel the Congress or the state rep's son?
Yes.
Okay, that's my
yes. That is. Anyway, 3 Democrats, 4 Republicans. We're going to see what happens. I think they have. I think they know where the public stands. I have yet to hear any individual member of the public stand up and say, "Yes, this is a good idea. We should increase taxes." You're out of your damn minds, especially with people struggling.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, it is a general consensus in the LaPorte County Republican Party that anybody who raises taxes is probably going to be looking at a primary challenger because, that's the way wrong message to send right now.
Yeah.
Even if you need it, especially if you need it, you better figure something out. You guys better figure out a way to tighten your belts because holy hell. By the time you guys watch this video, the vote will be over. But realistically, I think they're going to put it off. I don't think they're going to vote on it tonight because the last thing they did, the last meeting, and it was a special session. And here's another interesting thing about this tax vote, right? First of all, the council wasn't the ones. None of the members of the council introduced this.
Really?
Yes.
Was it one of
the auditor did?
Oh, the auditor.
Mike Rosenbaum, who used to be on the county council. As a matter of fact, the former auditor, Tim Stabos, wrote a very interesting op-ed that I believe really explains quite a bit. As a matter of fact, let me see here. I'm going to see if I can find it real quick. Let's go back to this. Let's go to this. All right, here it is. All right, so let me drag this over here. Boom. Okay, let's go back to here, and let me show you guys what I'm talking about. All right. So, I don't know why this is.
Is he running against Connie?
I don't know. I hope so. I don't think he can. I don't think he lives in that district.
I just see for LaPorte County Commissioner. That's why I was just curious.
Yeah, this was when he ran. He ran against Steve Hollifield in the primary. Okay. It was him, Hollifield, and someone else, and a record number of Democrats pulled our tickets in order to vote in our primary because the Democrat election was boring. There was no primary challengers, really. It was a problem. And it's pushing some people to want to change legislation. But let me show you guys. As auditor of LaPorte County from 2021 to 24, I had a front row seat in the inept decision making that led us to where we are today. Specifically, after an increase in the county income tax from 0.95% to 1.45% just 3 short years ago, why on earth are we looking at another potential increase from 1.45 to 1.65%? And he goes into why. And oh my, it's a lot. I recommend you guys read it, but I'm going to take a couple of points here. It says here, in November of 2022, a position-by-position salary study was completed. My advice to the council was to use the study to set salaries early in 23, but in any case, to give an across-the-board increase of no more than 5%. But then Councilman Rosenbaum claimed that he had, quote, done his homework and that the county council could afford an across-the-board 10% increase, which passed. Consequently, the $40,000 spent on the salary study was wasted because that study was never used. Worse, the council later determined they couldn't afford that raise and ended up with a jackrabbit stop where employees got no raises in both 2024 and 2025. Such poor planning damages the morale of employees. Meanwhile, they were approving no bid contracts. I mean, just a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I highly recommend that you pay attention to the stuff that.
Wow, no bid contracts.
Oh, dude, there's a reason Randy is called No Bid, No Back. That's by all means. That's his nickname. I didn't give it to him, but there's a reason why people thought he deserved it. And of course, this is my opinion, but you make your own, make up your own minds, guys. I don't think that the district is going to be well served by having him as the state rep, but that's just my opinion. So, it is what it is. Anything else, man? I think, I want to say this, though. As far as the people that could lose benefits, try to have your stuff researched before. Call your township trustee. Call your local food banks. Find out the process. Get your stuff done as early as you can.
That's coming up.
Yeah, I truly hope that there's no interruption in benefits. I really do.
Yeah.
Let's face it, our government has the money. They can hand out billions of dollars across the board to other countries and
Ukraine.
Ukraine. And we can't afford to feed our people. Are you kidding me? We can't afford to feed our military? What? Nah. Like, obviously, we have some problems in this country.
I wish the Democrats would stop with their games.
So, let's talk about this shutdown, right?
Yeah.
So they have gone on TV and said that the suffering of the American people is their leverage.
Yep.
Do you think they give a shit about you? Really? Honestly, no. They don't care about you. don't get it twisted. The Republican Party itself don't care about us either.
No.
Let's be honest. However, I think that in this particular scenario, the Republicans did what they should do. Vote on the CR. Let's get this over with. We'll rework the budget next year. Not a huge fan, by the way. We talked about this before. They didn't implement any of the damn Doge cuts.
No.
They just said, yeah, okay, we're going to carry it. Now, keep that in mind. They did not implement any Doge cuts. They kept the same continuing resolution that the Democrats had voted for 12 previous times with no changes. The only thing is some things were set to expire. But the Democrats are the ones who set it to expire. Why? Why do you think they set it to now?
I'm not sure.
Right. Why would you possibly want this? Because they knew it would create the most leverage. Because your suffering is their leverage. When they tell you who they are, believe them. It should be easy to find, by the way. I have it. If you guys don't believe me, I have the recording. She absolutely said it.
The congresswoman from Massachusetts.
I think so. Yeah.
She's in leadership.
Yeah. And they have no problem dangling you by the strings. So.
And I think that's why Rand Paul is voting no on the CR, is that he's upset about there's no Doge cut.
Yeah. And I understand. I get it. At the same time, Rand Paul, he generally votes no on anything budget related.
True.
And I understand why, and I don't fault him for it. Rand Paul, in and of himself, is not enough to hold this up. It's not enough to prevent this.
True.
If he was the last vote, I think we'd be having a lot more serious conversation about this. But he's not.
And all to redo the SNAP benefits, to bring them back on, all they have to do is pass a separate bill.
So,
you don't even have to
enough,
end the shutdown.
Josh Hawley from Missouri introduced a bill to do just that. It has not been heard.
No.
Now, allegedly, they're trying to get it to where it will be. Also, Mike Johnson
from Wisconsin, or no, Louisiana.
Speaker of the House, said that he would not be if this thing makes it past the Senate, as far as funding SNAP or individual, let's fund this, that he would bring the House back in session and get it passed.
Oh yeah, I think he would.
I think he would too. So that means it's not the Republicans that don't want to feed you guys.
No.
That's just all there is to it.
They also had a bill that would pay federal employees that the Democrats shut down.
They shut that down too, right?
They want everybody to suffer.
That's the thing, right? So they don't want to compromise. If they wanted to compromise, they would sign this CR that they already signed 12 times previously and work the budget next year. But they don't want to compromise. They want their benefits. They want those bennies for the illegals.
And they want to show that their base, that they're actually fighting Trump.
Right. Fighting Trump. What are you accomplishing?
They're not accomplishing anything.
They're not accomplishing anything. Yeah. So it's gonna be a heartbreaking beginning of November if nothing happens. That's all I can say, because I truly feel bad for the people that are affected.
I do too.
I don't care. Me personally, I don't care where you're from. I don't care how you got here. But my taxes should not feed you if you are not following the proper protocol.
And it should go to citizens.
It should go to citizens, exactly. So speaking of citizens and all of that, did you notice that Chicago Mayor Numbnuts,
Brandon Johnson?
Yeah, he would not answer a question on the budget regarding illegals. He pivoted. Did you see that clip where he's like, "Oh, nobody's illegal"? Yeah, but he didn't answer the question.
No,
of course he didn't. I don't even go to Chicago anymore. I used to love going to Chicago when I was like younger, and Chicago was a place to go. I don't even go unless I absolutely freaking have to. Like I have to pick up somebody at the airport, kind of thing. I don't shop in Chicago. I don't stop in Chicago. I don't even go to Illinois unless I have to. Like,
I like to go to Cubs games still. Only during the
fair
day.
enough.
Only
Hey,
during the
man,
day.
to each their own. Me, there's nothing in Chicago worth going as far as I'm concerned. Nothing at all. But you got to make your own decisions. If you guys want to go to Chicago, by all means, knock your freaking self out. I refuse to give them any money. Like, because anytime we go to Chicago, everything's expensive because, of course, it is. That's just, I'm not giving them my money. I'm not putting myself in that situation because the gun laws are different in Illinois.
That is true.
And nope, not putting myself in that position unless, like I said, I have to go get somebody from the airport, which I just did, and took them back. But that's it. And I took 294. I went way around. So that's it for me. You got anything else you want to cover? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you hanging out with us. And we'll see you guys again soon. God bless you. God bless Indiana. And God bless the United States of America. Hope you have a great night. See you on the flip side.